When it comes to productivity, there are a huge number of techniques you can use. Eat the frog, Eisenhower matrix, time blocking, the Pomodoro technique, and of course the humble to-do list. If you've ever felt like you're not quite hitting your stride when you're using these techniques, and for some reason are not able to consistently get properly stuck into the work that you've set yourself for the day, then you should give these 3 steps a try and see if they elevate your day to the level of productivity that you're wanting to see. Number 1 is diet. Now, countless studies have shown that sugar spikes and sugar crashes can impair brain function. And on the day-to-day, you may well have noticed this in yourself. If you've noticed that at certain points in the day, you're quicker to become frustrated, have less tolerance for things not going quite how you want them to, and generally become a little bit more irritable, then chances are this may be due to your blood sugar levels. And so to have a more stable blood sugar and avoid getting hangry, I've tried many different things, and these are the ones that come out on top and are fairly easy to add into your day. An eating schedule. And what I mean by a schedule is making sure that there is time in your day to prepare and eat meals and snacks. Taking the time to prepare a nutritious meal or well-balanced snack is definitely worth it if it means that you can carry on working, right? When it comes to snacks, they're not all created equal. As we're talking about maintaining our blood sugar levels, I'd recommend stepping away from snacks that are high in sugar, even though they can be appealing and extra tasty, and navigating towards snacks that have some element of protein in them. I found that snacks with higher levels of protein in them definitely keep me fuller longer, which means I can sustain working for longer. And then the biggest life overhaul I've had when it comes to diet is committing to meal prep. It has made the biggest difference because when I come in, it's 10 to 15 minutes from fridge to plate to have a well-balanced meal. And number 2 is moving your body. I've deliberately not said exercise, because I think when you use a term like exercise, there's a lot of preconceived ideas and perceptions as to what that means. And those ideas and notions make it harder for you to get started. I've definitely felt that feeling of wanting to be a certain level of fitness before I even walk into the gym. And that's not a barrier that should be there to do something as beneficial as moving your body. And you don't have to pay any money to get a gym membership. There are lots of free or very low cost options to get started moving. Throughout my life, I've tried a lot of different activities. As a kid, I played tennis once a week growing up, and when I went to university, I joined a few different sports teams, again, kind of an hour a week here and there. When I did my PhD, I started running, likely to run away from my problems, but as I continued, I really grew to love it, and I signed up to do ultra marathons and even ended up doing a tandem triathlon in a tiny village in Wales. Along the way, just trying out lots of things, experimenting with different ways of moving, some very social, some very solo, all fluctuating with what was going on in my life at any particular time and what I had the time and desire to commit to. And so the takeaway there is that you can dip your toe in and try different things. Now, movement and exercise is one of those things that has a huge number of benefits. But the benefits I've found to be most useful when it comes to productivity are the ability to disconnect from being quite so close to your problems. Kind of going off and moving gives you a bit of breathing room to kind of mull over and ruminate on any problems that you might be encountering. And in fact, going off and being in that environment where you can think a bit more freely helps you with coming up with new ideas too. And then of course, there's the stress relief and endorphins that you get from doing exercise, as well as the fact that a lot of us have very sedentary jobs and spend a lot of time looking at screens. Having that scheduled slot to get away is incredibly important for your general physical health. And third is restoration. Now, of course, rest, by which I mean removing yourself and your brain from that intensive, focused working environment, are of course key. But what I think is key for a restorative activity is immersion. And to work out what activities you fully immerse yourself into, think about what you were doing the last time you lost track of time. And you may also know this as flow state, when you get so immersed and focused on the task that you're doing that you are completely undistracted by anything else around you in that environment. And when you can get into this flow state for activities that are not work related, That's a great indication that it is a task, which means you will fully disconnect from anything else that's going on in your brain. And I've noticed that a lot of these restorative immersive activities tend to be on the creative end of the spectrum. Things like crafting, creative pursuits, anything that has a story that draws you in, whether that's reading a book or perhaps even playing video games. But the important thing is that they disconnect your brain from thinking about whatever the work or productive activities that you are wanting to do are. And I've noticed that after I've done any of my restorative activities, I come away with a feeling of reward. I'm enthused, excited, a little bit endorphinized, and my brain feels re-energized because I haven't just been fixated on putting more hours in to try and get those productive outputs that I'm seeking. Packing your day full to the brim with a jam-packed schedule of lots of different productivity techniques isn't the most productive you can be. And I've definitely noticed that my most productive days absolutely come from giving myself a solid setup. So let me know if you give any of these a try and the impact it has on how productive you are, or if there are any others that you find work for you to set yourself up with a foundation for a productive day. So thanks very much for watching and hope to see you again soon.